came up behind him. See, in this school, they thought it was funny if you sneak up behind somebody and kneel down and have somebody else come up in front of them and then shove them over that person. Well, they did that to Brian. Now he's on the ground. And everybody was laughing and everybody was pointing and Brian couldn't take it anymore. And when you can't take it anymore, you either get up and fight or you run. Well, he didn't want to fight and he couldn't fight, so he ran. Starts running across the playground. Kids could hear him screaming, "I hate you! I hate this school!" And as he sprinted across the playground, they started to chase him. And he screamed out as loud as he could, "Leave me alone!" And he began to cry.
Bullying is wrong, and that nobody should have to go through that.
And he put him in a gym, and he said, "Why? Why would you do that to someone?" And you know what they said? "We're sorry. We were just kidding. We didn't mean it. We thought he could take a joke." And then they took all the bystanders that were out on the playground watching it happen, and he put them all in a gym, and he looked at them and he said, "You were there. Why didn't you step up and do something?" You know what they said? "Dude, it was none of our business, man. We didn't want to get involved. We didn't want to rat our friends out." Not one person stood up for that little boy that day. Not one. And said, "Dude, knock it off." And so that little boy lost his life. The next day in the paper it said 13-year-old boy dies in a car accident. I don't believe that. I believe he was bullied to death.
When he was telling us about all these kids being bullied and the kids who no one stood up and there were no bystanders, well, there were only bystanders, that it probably made a really big impact on what McKinley will start doing.
This week is basically just an anti-bullying week. We have a bunch of programs. Our goal was to kind of associate all the grades together and make people understand that sixth graders are maybe be going through different stuff, but it's nothing that the eighth graders haven't gone through. And they're not quite that different. And it's kind of uniting our school to make it a better place is what this week is really about.
There's more of us than there are people that hurt each other. So when we all stand together, we make a choice to be a culture of kindness. Don't let your words hurt. Let your words build. I'm going to give you a test. I'm going to ask you to simply say these words out loud, starting with yellow. Go all the way across, everyone together. You got to do it together because anything we do together, we change the world.
Words can hurt everyone, no matter how rude or how kind they can be.
I think that some of the students will see more of the bullying going on and they'll try to stop it.
I think it's really important to kind of get the message out there, and it's not just one day that it'll hit home, it's the week, the month, the repeated activities that really let it set in, so where they realize this is a real problem and it's time for it to stop.
To choose your words carefully. Kindness or hate. You see, the choice is yours. Nobody can make you use words. You choose them. Today is the day we have to step up because the courage of one of you is the strength of all of you. You are either a bystander or you are an upstanders. You see, I think bystanders stand by and watch. And I believe upstanders stand up and do the right thing.
The biggest thing I've taken away is, again, it's just one thing can either change somebody's world or it can end somebody's world. And you have to be careful and cautious about what you say. And more importantly, you need to stand up for those people that can't stand up for themselves. That is what I took away from Jim's speech and hopefully from this week.